You have to be the right type of person to go into the military. I met so many great people. I did so many great things. I've seen so many great places. And I've had some experiences that I would never want to experience again. I got some that I would love to experience again. But back when I was in, the guys would make it hard for you. They just didn't like the fact that they were integrating us women. A lot of us were not counted, as I could say. We could be standing there, but you're not counted. You could be in uniform, but you're not there. I was depressed at one time, contemplating how I was going to get out the military. Why do I have to take this? I'm a human like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I was depressed for a while. You can only take so much. I went from being the little shy, timid little girl from the South to pretty much don't say nothing to me because you might get a fat lip. But that's because of all the BS I had to take to get to that point. Have women pretty much taken over the military now? I'd say Air Force and Navy. Yeah, we got that down pat. Because you go to any duty station now, I can guarantee you at least 3 people in those higher ranks are females. I just want to say thank you to them because we went through hell. We did. Blessing and a curse. But it was the best blessing I had, the best curse I ever had. One day I just woke up in little bitty Murfreesboro and I went to work and the doors were locked and there was a piece of paper on the door. What am I going to do? Because Murfreesboro is about the size of Harlem High School. The whole town, okay? So jobs were not plentiful down there, especially for a young black girl of color. It was not there for us. So I left. I always had it in my mind that I wanted to go. So I just left. And that probably was the best decision of my life. I left a lot of people behind and came back to them doing the exact same thing that I left them doing. So yeah, the Navy was a great choice for me. I did basic in Orlando, Florida. So it was different. It was hot. Flies were like that big. It was different. Doing my push-ups, because I got out of step, I got 50 push-ups. I came out biceps on point, okay? But you doing your push-up and you look up and you see a little alligator just coming your way. You can't stop. You can't stop. They're like, that baby ain't finna hurt you. Keep pushing them out. I'm saying to myself, it's finna eat my head off. And it was hard because right beside us, Disneyland. And we're in boot camp watching everyone have fun. And that wasn't fun at all. But when they told us, well, you guys do know once you graduate, that's the first place we take you. Oh, we was on it then. Wasn't nobody getting sent back. It was like, what? We get to go to boot? What? I ain't never been to Orlando. Okay, the athletic part was cool. I was still athletic. I was still doing all that. The adapting part that I had to do was I had a certain way of doing things. And this might sound petty, but to this day, I still have a certain way I fold my towels. Still have a certain way I fold my shirts. Get in there, they got a certain way you do everything. Everybody folds that towel the same way. Everybody folds that shirt the same way. Everybody makes that bed the same way. Everything is done the same way. And I had to adapt because I'm always, like you say, the rebel. I don't want to do it that way. I can do it an easier way. But I had to adapt to that because once you pay attention, there's a method to their madness. There's a reason why you need to do it this way. And I was like, oh, okay. It was still hard for me to fold that shirt that way because that's not how you fold a shirt. That's the way the Navy folds a shirt. To this day, that's still not the way you fold a shirt. But I digress. I digress. And the yelling did not bother me. It didn't bother me at all. They had people crying and wanting to get out the Navy. Oh my gosh, yeah. And only response I had to these girls was, your mama never yelled at you? That girl, suck it up. She's not putting her hands on you. She's not making you do nothing that's going to hurt you. Suck it up. That's all they're doing, trying to toughen you up. So I grew up between two boys and a mother with a megaphone for a mouth. So I was cool. I went to Virginia Beach, Virginia, to A school, and the job I chose was an operations specialist. And what that job entailed was I worked on radars, and I made sure that everything was safe around us. So basically, it was just navigation. But my job was very detailed. I mean, thank God I'm good with numbers, because if you don't know the longitude, latitudes, heights, radiuses, all this stuff, you're not going to get through it. And people would say the worst part of that job, but I personally thought it was the best part of the job, was the status board. The status board is a big, clear board. It's got a bunch of lines, and you have to make sure that every ship out there is detailed on here so we know where it's at. And the reason why I love that board is because the person on this side has to write backwards so the people on that side can read it. And I think that was my greatest talent that I learned, because to this day, I still write my check number backwards. I still sign stuff backwards. I still do a lot of stuff backwards. But that was my favorite part of my job, and it stuck with me because I didn't know it could be done. I was like, wow, I could do this? Yes, and it just stuck. Well, call me a weirdo, but yeah, I liked it. I got assigned to actually a destroyer tender. Let me explain that real quick. A destroyer tender is pretty much a supply ship. We're going to bring you the food, more ammo, more gear, and there's probably about 900 people on the ship. And that's what they put me on at first. It was cool. It was big. It was stable. I didn't get sick much. I did the first time out, to be expected. But I didn't get sick much. I technically did 2 overseas cruises. One on the destroyer tender and one on the destroyer. But while I was on that destroyer, we was out to sea 8 months out of 12. We was always going for something. And that's because it was a smaller ship and it could get out there quicker and come back. But 9 months out of 12, you out on that water, get used to it. You're going to see birds that ain't even there. You'll be like, is that a house in the middle of the water? But I love water, so it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me. You had some people who was going crazy because they couldn't even look over the side of the ship at all that water. And I'm like, why would you come into the Navy? Of all places, the Navy, and you can't do water. So, yeah, 9 months out. But the long cruises, you're going to love them because you're hitting like 7 different ports. Like when I was there, you know, all these places everybody going to Dubai, this and that was a big sand lot when I was there. That's it. We played volleyball where that big mega hotel is sitting right there. We played volleyball there. That was just a big sand lot. Matter of fact, we ran aground with the ship one time on the sand because we didn't know all that sand was there. So a lot of stuff has changed. Sometimes you feel guilty. Somalia. I didn't want to go over there. I did not want to go over there to see how those people were treated. And you know we couldn't help them. Even if we saw somebody laying in the street, we can't say, oh, and help them up. You weren't allowed to do it. We had people get put out the military. We had people get demoted and lose stripes because of compassion. You better get a tough exterior. And if they say don't touch those people, don't touch those people. Now, they kept us clear. Even though we were supposed to go by Afghanistan, we did an extra day around because the conflict was so heavy over there. And it wasn't us. Now, when we're considered an ally, we can't do anything until we're called to do it. We could be literally sitting in the fight. If they say don't shoot, you can't shoot. So It was kind of scary because a lot of people didn't know what was actually going on because, like I said, if you didn't have the need to know, they didn't tell you. We were in like 4 or 5 wartime situations, and then we would call a general quarters where you'd have to go quiet on the ship because we have enemies around us. These people are joking and playing because they really don't know that we are in a serious work. Be quiet. The sonar could pick us up. You gotta be quiet. And that was one thing about it. A lot of people didn't take it serious because you didn't tell them. You guys, we're actually in a wartime situation. And when we were in that hot zone, right over there by Iraq and Iran, pretty much where Dubai is sitting now is where we sat. It's a tourist area now. That's where we sat. That was our safe zone where Dubai is now. So we were pretty much protecting them too because, it was hostile right there. But because we had the big guns, they really didn't come that way. I mean, we had one person test us and that little cruiser over there was like, we got this. Went out there, shot a couple off of them. They went about their business. But being in that hot zone was no joke because now life is serious. But you have people joking and playing because they don't really know what's really going on outside. I had one young lady say to me, McCants, why are you so serious all the time? And I just simply looked at her, because she was younger, and I just simply looked at her. I said, you do know we're being fired upon. But then I could just lose my clearance just for telling you that. So you need to chill out and stop screaming, because when we say dead in the water, we mean that, dead in the water. Nothing. You can't sneeze, you can't cough, because the sonar will pick you up. And you guys got to take that serious because we can get blown out the water sitting here in our safe zone. Then they started integrating us. Now men pretty much think we're stepping on their toes because this is their territory. They were fine with us on the tender, the supply ships, and sitting on shore duty, doing paperwork. They was fine with that until they put us on a destroyer and said, you guys have to fight along your female shipmates. They didn't like that at all. It was like we were infiltrating that territory. Oh, and heaven forbid you came on with a little bit of rank. Heaven forbid. Because some of the guys were just there to pass their time. You know what I'm saying? And let a female come on and they just got at least one chevron on their arm, which is like a third-class petty officer. Oh, they're having a fit because you don't tell me what to do. Actually, I do, but I'm not going to because I could see your mentality already. It was sad that a lot of us females had to take upon ourselves to do a lot of things just because we didn't want to deal with the nonsense. And when I say nonsense, you're not smarter than me. I don't know why they have you here. A woman should be on shore duty. Oh, we get this many cooks on the ship. I mean, stuff like that. And we're like, I can see why you're still at E2. Don't argue with them. Just surpass them. And that was the deal that we made. All of us females that went on that ship, we're not going to argue with them. We're just going to surpass them. Because we had enough torture just getting trained to get on the ship. Those instructors weren't nice to us at all. Because they knew where we were going. And because they knew where we were going, they're like, you guys ain't gonna make it. I can guarantee you, you three gonna be pregnant within the next 6 months. And What happened? They harassed them women so bad, that was the only way they could get off the ship. We had 3 girls get pregnant on purpose. Just to get out. I wasn't cautious enough. I could literally say that day I had my guards down because I was a little too comfortable. I was a little too comfortable with the people around me. And it was one person I should have been side-eyed, but I let you get too close to me, and it was too late. They didn't even care. They didn't care what I told them. They didn't care what I showed them. They didn't care about none of that. It's the fact that how is this ship going to look through our inspection? And is everyone squared away? Because we have the admiral coming on board. Can't make these people look bad because they have to go sit in front of somebody else, and we're just little peons. It's not my fault. Maybe you guys should have put a bunch of ugly man-looking women in here, and we wouldn't act like that. That's what came out of that man's mouth. I don't think it would have made a difference because she still had a vagina. So I don't think it would have made a difference what she looked like. People are going to be people. And the reason why I say people are going to be people, because we women went through it, but there's a lot of men who won't talk about it either. You know, if I wasn't so vocal, I don't think anything would have happened to him. I got put off the ship. So I got the initial punishment for speaking up. But because they sent me to a duty station, I worked in JAG. Wrong place to send a vocal person. So I got to talking to a couple of people over there, and they're asking me, "You're an operations specialist, what are you doing on shore duty?" So I told them. And it pissed them off. She's like, "Wait, what? So why are you here?" I said, "Well, I shouldn't have spoke up, I guess." She said, "No." And then she went to her boss, and he was even more upset for the simple fact that was like the third female, and I didn't even know that. I was like the third female sent off that ship for the same thing. But they sent us females to therapy sessions once every 2 weeks. In those therapy sessions that were not therapy at all, we were basically told that you can't talk about this, and the military has high regards in this country, and and we can't put a scar on the Navy, and fuck that. Basically in my head, fuck that. I'm not trying to hear that. You might as well go on and put me out, because I'm finna talk about this for the rest of my life. And I had a female that said, "Well, Lana, if you won't be the mic, I will." And I passed the torch. Why? Because she actually had a military family who was standing behind her. And I felt like something would happen a lot quicker and a lot more harsh to these people if she was speaking. I just wanted something to happen to you. But to see this man actually get court-martialed, reduction in rape, money taken from him, and put out the military was gratification for me. Because at least something happened to you. Might not happen to those higher ups, but somebody paid for what they did. And if everybody else is watching, you might want to rethink what you're doing, because it can happen to you too. So did I feel bad about speaking up? No. Was I embarrassed? A little, because I felt like I was too strong to speak on it. But that's the reason why I should have spoke up. Because if I didn't, some little meek woman who's not going to speak up probably go and do something to herself because of what somebody else did to her. We got hit. Friendly fire. I know they were firing at somebody else, and we took the tail end of it. Everything on that ship is steel. And when I hit the, what you call them, the poles, the handrail, it's my little bitty body. I wasn't but 5 foot nothing. So it shattered my hip and I couldn't walk for a while. Once you pretty much damage goods to them, they can only sit you on a desk for so long. It's time to go. And I came in to be on a ship and to find out that I was never going back on a ship. There was really no need for me to be there. Thank you. It was great while it lasted. But you took all the fun out my job, so. But I had great memories. So I threw myself into the veteran world. And that's different also, because you get in the veteran world and you see the need for some of the things, and you see how people are being treated. And, you know, if you do your research, a lot of people are cut out of stuff and everything. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is the place for me, because I like to work, I like to get stuff done. So I started joining organizations. I'm with National Association of Black Veterans, they're called NAVVETS. And I belong to NWVU, the National Women Veterans United. I also belong to the Navy Club, because I'm Navy. And then I belong to this group. And to be honest with you, we really don't do anything but research. We call ourselves VSOAs, Veteran Service Officers of America. And we really don't do anything but research and pass it on to VSOs. So, but my main love is being a VSO and helping people get their benefits, because I was one of those struggling vets. I got home, I didn't know which way to turn. I didn't know who was there for us. I didn't know any organizations or programs that could help me out until I hit rock bottom. Then when you hit rock bottom, people just show up. And when I found out, okay, this organization's out here, this organization, every organization actually pretty much to help me, I joined. So I just started giving back. I personally think the military, whatever branch you go into, is a great experience for young people, because you actually get to be you, especially those who are coming from an environment where you're sheltered. And you're from a small town, you ain't been nowhere, you don't know nothing. You get in that military and your eyes open up. You know, some of them people never make it back to their hometown because they're so free now. And I was one of them. I went to the military, and I can tell you, I probably went back to Murfreesboro probably 8 times. Life is just that. Life. You take the good with the bad. You experience some things that you probably wouldn't want to do again. But I suggest you just keep on going, because one stumbling block is just that, a stumbling block. There's other places, higher peaks that you need to reach. And just because you're a female, or you're black, or you're short, or, you know, something like that, doesn't mean that you can't accomplish your goals, because life is crazy. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the military. And that's all I can say is, do not hinder your own dreams.